Hello, guys. All right, so I'm going to break down the Harrison Bergeron discussion questions after lesson 3. So if you have any more questions that I don't answer right now, you can go ahead and just text me on Remind. Just like any other assignment, your name, class period. First question: George, Harrison's dad, has a handicap because he is too smart. About every minute, a sound goes off in his ear to distract him and prevent him from thinking. How would you feel if you had this specific handicap? So basically, I need you to think about when you are daydreaming and your mind goes off, right? And you just keep thinking and your mind keeps thinking about stuff over and over again. George Harrison's dad doesn't have that because about every minute or so, a huge sound like a train horn or a baby crying or a gunshot sounds off in his ear to stop him from thinking because he's too smart. So, my question is, how would you feel if you had this specific handicap? 3 sentences minimum. Question 2. In the excerpt, there are 2 pictures. Using imagery, how would you describe the pictures? Do you think they accurately match the society? So go back in the text that I provided for you and look at the pictures and answer these questions. How would you describe the pictures? Using imagery, reading with your senses. And do you think they accurately match the society? Do you think they correctly match the society? 3 sentences minimum. And then you have this excerpt, right? So just read through this just to familiarize yourself with what is going on. And then the question that goes with it is number 4. What do you think of George's reason for not lightening his handicap bag? How do you know that? Right? So this is George and his wife talking about Hazel, talking about that he should just take some of the rocks or whatever are in his bag off of him, out, make a little hole. Oh, the lead balls. So I'm asking, sorry guys, it's early, I'm recording this. What do you think of George's reasoning for not lightening his handicap bag? And how do you know that? Number 4, the more talented ballerinas are easy to spot because they carry more weights. The more beautiful members of society have the most hideous masks. Is it possible to make everyone equal? Explain. In what ways should we be equal, and in what ways is it better to be different from each other? So I'm actually going to change this, and it's going to be 5 sentences minimum. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences minimum. Because this is all you're doing today, this discussion question. So it's basically asking us, do you think it's possible to make everyone equal? So in this dystopia, they gave all of the beautiful people hideous masks so they weren't beautiful anymore. And they gave the more talented ballerinas that could do better more weight so it would weigh them down and they weren't able to perform to their capacity, basically. So that's how they're making everyone equal. So then I'm asking you, do you think it's possible to make everyone equal? Explain. In what ways should we be equal? And in what ways is it better to be different? And that's going to be 5 sentences minimum. Last question. Once the ballerina and Harrison are free of their handicaps, they spring into the air and to be almost superhuman. What do you think the author is trying to say with this scene? So this happens at the end once Harrison kind of crashes the newscast and they're free of their handicaps, their lead balls around their neck, their hideous masks, and they ultimately just spring into the air and they start kissing because they're so happy. What do you think the author is trying to say with this scene? How do you know that? So that's 2 sentences minimum, 5 sentences minimum, 3 sentences minimum, 3 sentences minimum, 3 sentences minimum. And once you complete that, you are done with lesson 1. Lesson 2 is posted right under lesson 1 on, lesson 3. I'm sorry, you are done with lesson 3. Lesson 4 is posted right under lesson 3 on Google Classroom if you want to go and complete that now. This needs to be done by Wednesday at noon, or I will be contacting your parent.